Welcome to the Talk Sox podcast. I'm Alex, and as always, I'm joined by Maddie. How's it going?
It's Monday.
That's all you need to say.
Yeah, no, I'm happy that the weather is getting nicer. I can bike outside again. The sun feels good. Gets pretty cloudy out in central PA.
Yeah, we've been dealing with overcast skies for the past couple of days here in Missouri as well. Had some rain during the series finale against the Cardinals, which was interesting because it wasn't supposed to rain. Nothing crazy, although we were sitting. We were in like a row of four, my wife and I, and the other two people next to us. We all got a notification on our Apple Watches, like rain starting in the next, 15 minutes. And they looked at us and said, "You guys can have our seats, bye," and just
Oh,
left. And so we had the
nice.
whole row to ourselves, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, get to pay attention to the game a little more. And it looked
Yeah,
pretty empty.
that has been the kind of calling card for Cardinals home games for the past few seasons at this point. The last time the Red Sox were in town were 2 years ago with the alternating schedule. Um, and man, it was empty then too. Now, granted that the Red Sox missed the postseason, it was a little later in the season. It was mid to late May last time we were out of school. That's how I remember that. But early in the season, the Cardinals are better than expected right now, thanks to the heroics of Jordan Walker, who, if you are a longtime listener of the Talk Sox podcast, you will remember I was stumping for the Red Sox to trade for him to play first and then shift to third going into this season because third is his natural position. It's the position in which he was drafted to play. And I was told on more than one occasion by multiple people that I was crazy. And now I just want to say, look at this. Look who knew what he was talking about.
No,
He's
you've been beating that drum for a while, and that's funny. He's off to a great start, and the Cardinals could have something cooking. The NL Central's chock full of talent right now.
yeah. They're not going to win the Central by any means this year, next year, probably even the year after that. But if they can actually build around JJ Weatherholt and Jordan Walker, get some pitching, their bullpen is abysmal. If you think our bullpen's bad, the Cardinals bullpen is worse. But I think everybody kind of expected the Red Sox to win the series against the Cardinals just based on like preseason notions. But going back to the series before that, the series at the beginning of last week against the Brewers, I think it's probably safe to say that most people would have expected the Red Sox to lose that series, especially after the first game.
Yeah, I was out on them, but then they turned things around. They showed some grit, and was proud of them. And I mean, that was the momentum you wanted to carry going
Yeah,
into the Cardinals series until Dustin May. um,
man, that was so infuriating to be in the stadium watching that. I was so mad.
And he had every incentive to pitch a great game. I don't blame him for wanting to do his best, and he did his best. And he dropped his he had like a 15 ERA going into the game. It's like down to
Yes.
9 now.
Yeah, he let me find this tweet. Pete Fatsy tweet. He apparently after the game he apparently after the game liked a tweet that was trash talking Pete Fatsy.
Good for him. That's so funny.
And I'm trying to find the tweet that he liked. Here we go. Is this it? The tweet was okay. So it was in response to they asked Pete Fatsy about the approach after the game, and he said Dustin May just made some good pitches tonight. He did a decent job of keeping him off the barrel. A Twitter account, no free ads. I'm not going to shout him out, but he quote tweeted and said he threw so many pitches down the middle that they just stared at. Fatsy is such a joke for saying this, and Dustin May liked that tweet.
Yo, that's crazy. I miss the days when you could go through people's likes,
Yeah,
and that would just to have the receipts.
it got a lot of people in trouble, and that's probably why old Elon
Yeah.
pulled it. But
Well, yeah, no, it did.
it got him in trouble too, I think. I
Yeah.
think he had some questionable likes in that content.
Well, is that surprising? No.
No, not one bit. Have you seen his hair lately?
Oh.
I always forget, to me, Pete Fatsy is an old man's name. So every time I see pictures of video of Pete Fatsy, I forget that he's relatively young.
He's a young guy. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I always think when I just hear his name, I immediately picture, who was the interim manager after Cora got suspended?
shoot.
Ron, was that in 2020? Yeah. Ron Renicky. I always picture Ron Renicky when I think of Pete Fatsy. I don't know why.
Straight out of Driveline?
Yeah. Pete Fatsy is just an old man's name. I do think, talking about the Brewer series, the Cardinal series, with the second game of the Brewer series was a 3-2 win for the Red Sox. The third game was 5-0, which is great. You love to see the bats wake up a little bit. Red Sox lose to the Cardinals 3-2 on Friday. They win 7-3, 7-1 on Saturday, and then 9-3 on Sunday. So you love to see the offensive output, but I still think, and we talked about this a little bit last week and on the live stream that we did with the Brewer Fanatic guys last week, I think that if anybody is going to be the sacrificial lamb this early in the season, it's going to be Pete Fatsy. I think that you really have to look at him for their lack of offensive approach.
Yeah, I mean, he might be the first domino to fall.
Andrew Bailey's not going anywhere.
Andrew Bailey, no, yeah, I agree there. He's fine. I think
not going anywhere.
Yeah, I think it's that Breslow on the hot seat.
We talked about this a little bit. I go
back
and forth with it so much because yes, I think that Breslow is on the hot seat, but I don't think they're going to act until after the lockout's over.
Yeah, I mean the lockout is the one pending thing, but I mean, I don't know, if I've seen some reports about how parity is so much better in baseball, and there might not even be a lockout. I mean, the Pirates are doing really well. They're winning 15-5 right now. Granted, it's against the Nationals, but still, I mean, they've been a fun team to watch.
They've been very fun. I've enjoyed it. I haven't watched a ton of Pirates games, but I've enjoyed watching Pirates games when they've been on.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the A's played good ball against the Yankees.
Carried a no-hitter into the A in that last game. I mean, the teams that I've said from jump that once the A's get some pitching, the A's will be very dangerous. They've got a nucleus of young talent with Wilson and Kurtz and Soderstrom, and they've got veteran leadership with Rooker, who's hungry for home run titles. They just want to make the playoffs. And I think that you get them some pitching, and I think they're going to be very good and very dangerous as they grow together as a group. But, obviously we're recording this. Usually we do Sunday nights. I got home from the Red Sox series late last night in St. Louis, so we pushed it to Monday night. So you'll hear this on Tuesday. As we record, the Red Sox are getting beaten by the Minnesota Twins. Garrett Crochet has had his worst start in a Red Sox uniform. 11 earned when it's all said and done. Is that correct?
Yeah.
It's currently 13-4 in the top of the seventh. Jarren Duran did get his first home run.
It was a nice swing. Like
Yeah.
that was it looked like it looked good.
He put a couple charges into him in St. Louis that I thought, okay, Duran's waking up a little bit. Just not a good game. With the Twins, you're missing Joe Ryan. You're missing their the big parts of their rotation. You were hoping that was it Bailey Ober today? You're hoping that Bailey Ober wouldn't perform exceptionally well. Unfortunately, he has. Although I mean, he gave up the 4 runs, but 6 innings, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk. Whereas you've got Crochet with 1 2/3, 9 hits, only charged with 10, 3 walks, no strikeouts. It's gonna tank his ERA. We were talking about it before we started recording. This likely probably takes him out of the Cy Young conversation, unfortunately, already. Just because his ERA won't be able to get back sub 3 probably by the end of the season, unless he's just. If he comes out and throws 3 no-hitters, sure. But I think you could throw 1 this year. I think you could get Crochet on a perfect game this year. But
with this defense,
it's going to be a strikeout-heavy perfect game, Maddie.
okay. Well,
he's going to strike out 27.
That's all of them.
It's just going to be immaculate inning after immaculate inning after immaculate inning, and that's how he's going to pitch his way back into the Cy Young conversation.
With Connor Wong at the plate.
Oh gosh, Wong will hit the 1 home run for the Red Sox on the game. Speaking of Wong, we were talking about he may not have a spot on this roster coming out of spring training, and Alex Cora gave him a vote of confidence, and Narvaez has been scuffling, and Wong has looked pretty good. I think we might see more of an even split in playtime moving forward.
I mean, that's good to give Narvaez a break. I mean, he was used so much last year, and I mean, as a rookie, he really stepped into that role and handled it well. But you want to give him some rest. I mean, he was dealing with he was playing with a knee injury towards the end of the season, and a healthy Wong. I mean, that's a good catching platoon, or not platoon, tandem.
Sorry, I just got a notification that Alec Boehm has fired Scott Boras as his agent.
Wait, that's
after
insane.
all of this. Yeah, after all of this, like his parents stealing money and stuff.
I feel bad for him.
Yeah, that's insane. Not that has any bearings on the Red Sox, but that's huge. Scott Boras doesn't get fired ever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Nick Castellanos, he had beef with some Phillies players. Castellanos, I think he didn't fire him. They just parted ways, and then he chose to self-represent.
Wasn't Boras responsible for the whole Freddie Freeman debacle with the Braves, and Freeman fired him?
What?
Was that Boras?
I think that was somebody else. It was Casey Close of Excel.
Okay. Excel. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, wait, I don't think that actually was Boras. I don't
just a very Boras thing to do.
Yeah, yeah.
So we were talking about Wong and Narvaez kind of splitting playing time. There's one man on this roster that needs more playing time, and that is the pinnacle of running form himself, Masataka Yoshida. He's on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Now the called strike in the bottom of the 8th with the bases loaded on Friday, not a good look.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Masa has a stolen base on the year.
Oh,
Not everybody can say that.
well, you're not wrong. Just no, not not a lot of guys can say that they hold 14.3 strikeout rate.
Yeah. And an almost 30 walk percentage. It's 28.6. I mean, he only has 2 hits.
But I mean, those 2 hits are like pretty interesting under the hood.
Yeah, there's 2 runs, 2 runs in 9 games. No homers, 3 RBIs, 1 stolen base. His slash line is 263, 500, 368, a 420 WOBA, a 169 weighted runs created plus, and a .2 FWAR. The team has done this to themselves with this outfield logjam that they just keep kicking the can down the road on. I'm not going to say they were advocating for Ceddanne Rafaela to be hurt on Saturday when he was hit in the hand by a pitch, but I think that had Ceddanne Rafaela gotten hurt when he was hit by a pitch, I think they would have been like, "See, that's why we kept all the outfielders. We knew something was going to happen."
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me for the organization to like secretly pray something would happen to prove they're right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Um,
I mean, this is what sucks is Masa is playing so well that he saw 1 game in the weekend series against the Cardinals, the Friday night game. That's it. To me, it was criminal that Roman Anthony was left in the on deck circle in the top of the 9th. You get him in there pinch hitting earlier than that in a 1-run game. But I mean, you have Masa in there because he puts bat on the ball, and he's going to work walks. He's going to do whatever. And he can't get the playtime in Boston, even though he deserves it because he's got 4 other outfielders ahead of him, which means one of them has to rotate through the DH spot more often.
yeah, and I think the point is, well, no, if Durant can like have a good hot stretch here going into May, maybe you could find like the Mets willing to bite. They called up Tommy Pham today.
I saw that.
If you saw, yeah, and just I mean, Duran is better than Tommy Pham. I don't think he's as toxic as Tommy Pham.
No. I got to see Duran deal with some hecklers on Sunday, and that was fun. He used no slurs. I was very proud of him.
The bar is so low. Oh my god.
They were yelling obviously that he needed to get a tennis racket. They kept calling him "Hey 1-6" for a while, so he ignored them. They finally started yelling "Hey Duran." So they yelled something about a tennis racket, and he turned around and gave them the finger. And then 2 innings later, promptly laced that magical 2-run double. When my wife turned around and looked at the guys who were yelling at him and said, "Didn't need a tennis racket for that, did he?" And
Nice.
they shut up. Yeah, it was great. I was very proud of her. She loves what Duran stands for, like his mental health, awareness and everything. And she likes the way he plays ball. And so she was very passionately defending Jarren Duran to anybody who was trash talking Jarren Duran. I will have the entire listening group know that I was very positive to Jarren Duran this entire weekend. I cheered for him. Once those guys started heckling him, myself and a few other Sox fans that were sitting around me, we started very vocally supporting him. He kind of gave us a little wave a couple of times because of it. Who I was very mean to was, can you guess, Maddie?
Trevor Story.
Was Trevor Story.
What? I found a fork in the kitchen earlier. But anyway, Trevor Story.
I refused to clap for him anytime his name was announced.
Okay.
I encouraged other Red Sox fans around us to not clap for him anytime his name was announced, and directed them to my articles to read
Nice.
why they shouldn't. Now, caveat: when he went 4 for 5 on Sunday, okay, backstory. Wilson Contreras hits the home run in the top of the first. I stand up, clap, cheer, let's go Wilson as he's rounding the bases. And there is an older gentleman in front of me who is visibly annoyed with my presence behind him. So first inning, top of the first ends, bottom of the first ends, top of the second ends, and I decide to run to the restroom and to go get something to drink. As I'm walking back to my seat is when Jordan Walker hits the solo home run in the bottom of the second. So I was
Okay.
not there for this. My wife says that the man turned around and clapped in what would have been my face had I been sitting in that seat.
Huh.
This
Huh.
man was probably in his late 50s, early 60s. You know what? If you don't like people that cheer for the opposing team sitting behind you, buy those seats too. Make sure that nobody sits there. So
Hmm.
I maybe put a little extra into my cheering and support for the Boston Red Sox on Sunday, including Trevor Story, just because I knew that it would get on this guy's nerves. And they left in the 6th inning.
But fair weather fan making the most just being annoying. I mean,
Yeah. And then
huh.
a very nice mom and her son came down and sat in the seats in front of us. We were kind of right there on the wall in left field, and they were trying to get a ball for her kid. He was like 6 or 7. It was his first
Oh,
time at Busch Stadium, and so my wife and I were trying very hard to get Duran or somebody to toss him a ball because they were Sox fans. So I was much happier with them sitting in front of me than the curmudgeon old couple that tried to clap in my face.
just
But on Sunday, I did support Trevor Story on Sunday.
well, yeah. I mean, I was like, I'm so mad at this guy. Like, I mean, he's gonna, strike out, but I mean, he actually did well on Sunday. I mean, maybe he heard everybody complaining about him, or just logged onto Twitter. I don't know if he's on there,
Yeah,
but
I don't know how. I know he has an account. I don't know how active he is. Um, you want to talk about Trevor Story today?
oh, yeah, that play. What was it? The first inning?
Yes. Yep.
Just
Um,
uh,
I can't even come up with a word to describe what he was trying to do. But somehow his glove and the ball ended up on opposite sides of second base.
just no, it made no sense whatsoever. And just, I mean, you're a Major League Baseball player. You need to be just playing competently. Like it doesn't have to be like snazzy. It just has to be sound defensively. And I mean,
And
his game is neither of those.
I've got a hot take here.
Okay.
And I know we were just talking about Masataka Yoshida and how he's not getting any playing time at DH. And I'm going to shout out Coley Mick from Section 10. He's the first place that I heard this idea. I think that it makes far too much sense. I think you need to DH Trevor Story.
Okay. Who would
Because
you
the
move?
only contributions that he makes are on the offensive side of the baseball. His defense is terrible. His presence on the infield is not good. But if you can solely focus on hitting, then I think you've got something. I actually think you could platoon him with Masa, and I think that would go pretty well. Here's the second part of the hot take. Well, the first part, you're going to move Marcelo to short. That's what you're going to do.
Okay.
Simple
Yeah.
as pie, right?
Yeah.
So who plays second? Ceddanne Rafaela.
No.
Move Jaron
Well,
Duran to center field, which is his best defensive position. Roman Anthony to left. Hopefully, you've got to overcome the yips that Roman's got. He's DH'd more than he's played the outfield the last week. But I think that once Roman kind of gets out of his own head, Roman in left, Duran in center, Willier in right, Ceddanne at second, Marcelo at short, a platoon of Masa and Story at DH. And I think that's your best defensive infield that you can have or your best defensive full nine that you can have right now. And it takes the liability that is Trevor Story completely off the field. Or you go out and trade for the Padres' newest second baseman, Fernando Tatis Jr.
The second option might be a little more reasonable. Just Story's carrying 1.4% walk rate. Do you really want him DHing?
If he can hit his little dinky do singles. It's in my opinion, and we skipped over Nick Sogard. We're going to go back to him here in a second. In my opinion, you cannot have Trevor Story on the field anymore. He's a defensive liability. He is a walking error. He is just.
Yeah.
You can't do it. You can't do it. And Cora has doubled down on it. He has said within the last week that Trevor Story is his shortstop and the range is better than it was last year. And that's not hard to do because he had no range last year. But realistically, you've got to figure out a way to get Trevor Story off the field. And his bat is playing right now. Now, probably not tonight with the way it's going. But I can't watch him play shortstop for the Boston Red Sox much longer.
Yeah, it's just embarrassing. Yeah, they had Xander, and now they're stuck with this dude. I mean, what do I think the team? I don't know. I wouldn't want Xander's current contract, but
I think that if there's a way that the Padres would be willing to take on the majority of that money, then you figure something out without sending Early or Tolley as part of that deal. Or if you're in it purely for the bad contract swap, a package of Trevor Story and Masataka Yoshida doesn't look bad for Xander Bogaerts on the Padres end. They get out of a long-term commitment for two much shorter-term commitments and still probably take on a little bit of that money. I think that what has to happen is Cora has to swap Marcelo and Story. Realistically, I think that's the only thing that really can happen at this point, and put Story at second, where he played within that one season with Xander. But I can't watch Trevor Story attempt to play shortstop for this team much longer.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, not to sound dramatic, but no, it's not pleasant. This will continue to hinder them. And it's costing them runs. And yeah, I mean, there's no excuse to have him on the field. Well, at shortstop. I mean, second's a little more feasible, but.
And you still need range at second, but.
I mean, not with
nearly as much.
I mean, I think his arm is his biggest issue, and I mean, he's not making. Yeah. I mean, crazy throws from second.
Something's got to give here, because Trevor Story's defensive lapses could be the thing. And I know we're sitting here like in a 14-6 game. Like, I understand that, But Trevor Story's defensive lapses could be the thing that keeps the Red Sox out of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And it just that to me, that's unexcusable. There's no reason for them to even be entertaining that idea. If you go through this season with Trevor Story as your starting shortstop the entire season, it's an unserious team this year, in my opinion.
Yeah, that'd be the biggest thing. And I know we all complain about it, but I watch other teams like the Orioles. Gunnar Henderson, is a great player, homegrown too.
Yeah.
Franklin Arias could be that guy, but we're still a couple of years removed from that. And well, we have Marcelo obviously too, and Arias probably will move to some other position in the infield. But Marcelo's right there, and he plays good defense.
Yeah, I think that at second, short, or third, Marcelo could be a Gold Glover.
Mm-hmm.
He may win a Gold Glove at second this year. I think the thing that kind of, I don't want to say blows my mind, but that just baffles me is Trevor Story is being treated like some Red Sox legend, like Cora is doubling down on him, not moving off short. I believe in him. I've got his back. Da 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 da. Where was this for Rafael Devers, the actual homegrown superstar last year, when you didn't mind to move him off third for Alex Bregman, which defensively is a massive upgrade. But you didn't mind telling him to go play DH, and then everybody throws a hissy fit when Devers won't go play first. And I get it. I understand that. I don't disagree with the Devers trade. And I always feel like I have to qualify this anytime anything with Devers comes up. I understand the trade, and to this day I don't hate it. But you were willing to essentially tell your homegrown face of the franchise, hey, go be a DH. Oh, you won't play first for us? Then go to San Francisco. We don't want to deal with you anymore. But you won't tell Trevor Story, hey, we've got to have a conversation here, man. Like, you're costing this team runs. The heir apparent to your position is playing to your left. Let's just swap those roles. You played second base here your first season here with Xander Bogaerts. Now you be the veteran that's been here for so long. Even if you haven't played a full season until last year, you mentor Marcelo. Hey, I've been where you are. I know how tough it is. Let's work together. I'll play second. You play short. And I don't think that Trevor Story is the kind of person that will get upset with that conversation. I don't think that he's I'm a shortstop or I don't play kind of guy. I think he realizes that he's in the twilight of his career at this point. But it's a conversation that you've got to have.
I've always thought Cora was good at managing egos. Now I question that with the point you made about the Devers trade, and also just, Xander was a homegrown guy, kind of viewed as, people looked up to him in the clubhouse for leadership. And Trevor Story was okay to, defer to second for 1 year because of Xander. But since he left, now I wonder if he wouldn't, or if the idea of a younger guy taking over his position ruffles his feathers.
I get that, but you've got to. I think that if you just show, here's your defensive metrics, here's Marcelo's. We can project out if with you at shortstop we win 81 games, we have a 500 season. With Marcelo at shortstop, we're projected to win 88 games. Let's win 88 games. You get to then win 88 games. I think that if you kind of lay it out for him, it obviously there's pride. It's professional athletes, they're prideful men, and that's how it is, and that's how it should be. You should be very proud of yourself that you even made it to the majors. But I think that when push comes to shove, if Cora was to sit down with Story and be like, hey, this is the best decision for the team. We are doing this for the betterment of the team. You can move to second. We're going to take some pressure off you. You're going to be able to stay a little healthier at second. You're not going to have to make as many bang plays. You've already
Mhm.
played there once for us, and Marcelo is going to take over his spot at shortstop. Will Story love it? Probably not. Will he get with the program? Probably. Or cut bait. You didn't mind cutting bait with Rafael Devers. And then you can figure out the second base problem from there. You can revisit the Ketel Marte trade at the deadline. You can Andrew Monasterio has looked pretty good in limited action in these last couple appearances. I don't want to see IKF start for this team except in spot start, so I'm not going to say IKF. But Romy Gonzalez is going to come back. Romy can play second. Like, you've got options in the event that Trevor doesn't handle this well. And if he doesn't handle this well, he's not a Boston guy. He's not through the system. He was a free agent. If you were fine trading away Rafael Devers, trading away Mookie Betts, which I know it was a different regime, but the same ownership. If you were fine trading away Mookie Betts, if you were fine letting Xander Bogaerts walk for an ungodly amount of money to the San Diego Padres, and then trading Rafael Devers, who cares if Trevor Story's feelings gets hurt? He's not a homegrown player. He's not somebody that this fan base is rallied behind. And his leadership style, it's an on-field, quiet leadership, that can be replaced.
Well, also, I question, I know it's said a lot that he's viewed as a leader, and yeah, we're not a fly on the wall in the clubhouse, but you read it a lot in articles from reputable sources, and then he actually was performing well last year. This year, he's not. Are guys really going to look up to, somebody who only just got their first walk over the weekend? And it's what?
Yeah.
No. And it kind of looks like Wilson Contreras is stepping into that role. And you know what? I'm not opposed to it. The Bowser thing is hilarious. Like, I want one of those shirts.
I do too.
I need one of them.
My son is obsessed with Bowser right now too, so I need one for him. I've been stalked because they come from Sully's. I've been stalking Sully's website for the past couple of days, trying to waiting for them to go live, and they probably won't because the Red Sox probably aren't going to enter into a partnership with Nintendo. But man, it's right there, and there's a ton of money to be made should they decide to do that.
Well, everybody likes Mario. Yeah.
The new movie's pretty good. Took my kids to see it last week.
And again, this is the Dodgers, which have the entire country of Japan rooting for them. But the Yoshinobu Yamamoto Yoshi, that was a lot.
Yeah.
Those are selling for $200 now on eBay.
Yes, yeah, they're crazy.
The game was I think sold out. It would be a good just a way to fill the seats for the team.
Oh yeah. That could be a really good giveaway for them to do. Like I said, if they can enter into some kind of licensing agreement for Bowser's image to actually sell that shirt, whether it be through Sully's, through the official team store, which I would hate to give Fanatics my money, but I would do it for that shirt specifically. If they do a Contreras Bowser bobblehead, I'll probably pay a decent amount of money to buy one off eBay. We have to hit up coworker Nick John to get out to the game and snag us some Wilson Contreras bobbleheads if that happens. Yeah, there's an opportunity that's currently being missed if that shirt doesn't go into production or something's not done with Wilson and Bowser. We're gonna jump back for a second since we spent the last 15 minutes on Trevor Story. I wrote about this last week that the Red Sox bench has been mostly abysmal. Andrew Monasterio obviously has been playing a little better as of late, but he still hasn't completely figured it out. IKF has been non-existent for this team, and his $6 million that he's being paid. So in AAA at Worcester, there's really three names that are making pretty big impacts. We've got Mickey Gasper, who, as much of a feel-good story as that would be, I think that if he gets called up, it's just going to be more of the same. He's a career like 135 hitter in the majors. What we're seeing in the minor leagues is great, but I think that we're seeing his peak, and I think that should he get called up, his peak will be much, much lower in the majors.
I it'll I don't wanna say that's a sign of the team punting the season, but it would feel like it, or that would be
Agreed.
an
Yeah.
indicator. Yeah.
Yeah. Mikey Romero has been playing very, very well. I think that he is going to force himself into the second base conversation, especially if Story continues to struggle, because then you do have Mikey Romero hanging out in AAA, waiting for that call up. And if he's going to be the double play partner with Marcelo Meyer in the coming years, let's go ahead and get that party started, especially if the season is getting out of control. But the name that has honestly stood out to me the most, Nick Sogard.
Yeah, no, he's having a phenomenal start to the season. Just
Yeah.
what, 3 home runs? Is it?
I believe so. Yeah,
And
2 in 1
they
game.
Yeah, and they were like pretty good home runs. Like,
Yeah, they weren't cheap.
Yeah. And he's never hit a home run at the major league level, but it'd be cool to see him do that finally after 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I've always liked his game. I mean, he showed good plate discipline. Not flashy, but I mean, solid defense, and a switch hitter too. So he had that flexibility that Cora likes.
Yeah. I do love the switch hitter aspect of it. I think that could be useful. I went to MILB, not MLB. Did you know when you go to MILB.com now, it auto directs you to MLB.com, which is not what I wanted. Let's do this. No, this is riveting. Riveting podcast listening. Yeah, so Sogard is slashing. Let me get to 26. We've got a line of 239, 400, 500 with a 900 OPS. He's got 12 strikeouts on the year, 13 walks, 9 RBIs, 3 home runs. He's appeared in 13 games, 11 hits, 23 total bases. Yeah, I mean, he seems like he's maybe figured some stuff out. I think the switch hitter aspect is nice. He's a super utility player, so he can play anywhere across the dirt. I think that he would make a lot of sense if the team were to move on from IKF, which I don't think is out of the realm of possibility.
I just don't know why that IKF money wasn't spent on a reliever.
Yeah, and the only thing I can think of is that they didn't anticipate the Caleb Durbin trade happening to bring in Andrew Monasterio, because Monasterio and IKF essentially have the same role, but Monasterio's younger, cheaper, better probably at this point. I mean, IKF obviously has gold gloves and he's been around, but I think I would feel much more comfortable with Nick Sogard and Andrew Monasterio as our infield bench options than IKF and Monasterio.
Yeah, and just I worry about the bullpen too.
Yeah.
The market moved really quickly this past off season where the dude from the Cardinals who went to the Mets. Helsley.
Helsley, yes. Because he was the first one. He signed with the Orioles really quickly.
Yeah. Then Diaz signed pretty quickly with the Dodgers. And Williams too.
Devin Williams signed with the Mets really, really quickly. Yeah.
And then it was down to maybe couple guys.
The Red Sox had always been connected all offseason to Danny Coulomb, so I wasn't shocked when they signed him. We've joked about it on here. They've been connected to Tommy Canley for years, and he's
Mhm.
never wound up in Boston until this year. Um, I need Canley up now, and I need Zach Kelly to never pitch for the big league club again. I'm over the Zach Kelly experience. Um, I think Canley's upward mobility clause kicks in May 1st, I think. So we're not rapidly approaching. It's April 13th, but we're about halfway there. I don't see any scenario where he's not with the big league club by that point. Um, Patrick Sandoval is in that conversation to enter into the bullpen. His first rehab outing with the Woo Sox was pretty good. Not great, but pretty good. Cutter Crawford's was a mixed bag, and he has got a lot of rust to knock off. But he will factor into the bullpen equation at some point. And that leaves Peyton Tolley, and who kind of knows what's the plan there right now. He's averaging at least 5 innings a start in Worcester. Connolly Early's not averaging 5 innings a start at the big league club. Could you see them switch out occasionally? Which would make sense. You can do that. You know, give Tolley a couple turns through the rotation while Early's back in AAA taking a couple of starts, and then flip flop them again. You've got some options there. But yeah, I think there's a lot in Worcester that is very interesting that I think will make an impact on the big league club at some point this season. Probably headlined by Canley, just because, like you said, the bullpen is what it is. But I think Sogard's right there, and I think that Sogard deserves a spot. I thought through spring training he deserved a spot.
Mhm.
I thought that he played his way into a bench role with the major league club out of spring training, but obviously they gave IKF, $6 million, so he needed to get that spot.
Yeah, yeah. I Yeah, I wonder about the organization's planning. Like, it seems like they don't
Yeah,
tackle roster holes simultaneously. It's always focused on one thing, and then when their plan A doesn't work, they're scrambling then for
yep,
not plan B, but like another area on the roster then.
yeah. It was like all off season. Oh, we need a power bat. We need a power bat. We need another starter. And they went out and they traded for Johan Oviedo, who knows what we're going to get from him. He's a free agent after 27.
Mm.
Um, they're hoping that rest will kind of fix up whatever's going on in his elbow. And then after whiffing on Bregman, they signed Ranger Suarez, who looked great on Saturday. That's the best we've seen him so far. But to that point was a net negative for the Red Sox. So I don't know. It's like the team can't figure out how to effectively pivot anywhere. Um, do you think that's do you think that's a Breslow issue? Because similar things were said about Heim too. Or do you think they're being hamstrung by ownership, or a combination of the two?
I wouldn't say it's ownership. I think it's more Breslow.
We talked about this with the Brewer Fanatics guys. Like, I don't. He is the smartest man in the room. I don't think there's any arguing that.
Hmm.
Um, but I think that works to his detriment more often than not.
Yeah, where you said this, it really limits that who he can make deals with, and it's literally Hein Bloom. And
Yeah,
yeah, Hein Bloom.
yeah. He needs to stop calling the Brewers, I guess the Brewers need to stop calling him, because they seem to win every one of those trades. Now, moving Durbin to the 2 hole seems to have kind of woke him up a little bit, which is great. Um, once again, the guys from Brewer Fanatic say that by the end of the season, we will love Caleb Durbin. He is like the prototypical dirt dog Red Sox infielder that we want. We just haven't seen it yet. He was making some questionable defensive decisions early in the season, but his defense has gotten a lot better. He's starting to put the bat on the ball a little more now, so we see a path to where he can become somebody who is a solid contributor for the Red Sox. But when you're promised Kyle Schwarber or Pete Alonso, and your offensive acquisition happens right before spring training, and it's Caleb Durbin, that's a lot to live up to for him, and that's not fair to him. But don't come out and essentially imply that you're going to sign one or both of Alonso or Schwarber, and then wind up with neither, and bring in Caleb Durbin. Now, Pete Alonso has not been playing well. He's hitting like a buck 18. Wilson Contreras has been playing better than Pete.
Alex Bregman also has not gotten off to a really hot start. And
no, but his underlying metrics, he is just waiting to crack. And when he does, he's going to be an all-star.
Okay. Just, yeah,
which is not what any of us want to hear, but he's gotten very unlucky.
Okay. The Cubs seem to be kind of bad, though.
Yeah. But all the teams that you thought were going to be good have kind of done that same thing, like the Blue Jays. Blue Jays have been decimated by injuries.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, until I don't know what their record is after tonight, but the Red Sox were tied with the Blue Jays going into the game on Monday. And all you heard from Red Sox fans were, season's over, can't believe people believed in this team. And you heard that national media too, like, oh, the Red Sox they're underperforming, da-da-da-da. Well, they had the same record as the Blue Jays, and the narrative around the Blue Jays was, oh, well, they'll figure it out. They'll put it together. It's the Blue Jays. They went to the World Series last year, so they get the benefit of the doubt. But you've got the same record. And if the Blue Jays are given the rope to figure it out, why aren't the Red Sox been given the rope to figure it out, So it's very interesting to me that nobody's willing to write off the Blue Jays, but the Blue Jays have been bad.
Yeah. I mean, they're 2-8 in their last 10. I mean, the Red Sox are 5-5. Do with that what you will. But
right, exactly.
The Blue Jays also just have Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I mean,
dare I bring up?
Yeah,
tell me about it.
They have that star power that, I mean, George Springer. I mean, I don't know if you want to call that star power. No, Bo Bichette left.
Yeah, and he has not been playing well either.
He's not doing that well.
The Mets look terrible.
I feel bad for them.
So bad.
Yeah, they got off to a hot start, and now we're
they were on fire.
So,
but I think, to revisit a conversation from earlier, I think you could have a conversation with them about Jarren Duran probably sooner than later.
Mm-hmm.
And
with Tommy,
who knows?
Yeah,
and who knows? Talk your way into Jonah Tong somehow.
Well, hold up. I don't think he would fit well with the Red Sox.
There's one pitcher on the Mets that I want. It makes no sense. He doesn't fit with Andrew Bailey's approach. I would love it if they could work a trade for Kodai Senga. I think that there is so much potential there that the Mets just can't figure out.
Well, his velocity's up a bit this year.
Mm-hmm.
And
I don't think Senga for Duran is crazy. I don't think Senga for Duran is crazy at all.
Yeah, I know a lot of people were down on him, but
we were both on Kodai Senga this offseason.
Mm-hmm. And I think if something could be worked out there, I mean, they should definitely call the Mets. I mean, give Masa another dude to lean on.
Yeah.
Did
you see Amai went on the IL with arm?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I
hate that for him. Yeah.
I mean, I wanted him so bad, but I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. How has Okamoto been doing? I haven't even checked on that. 204, 2 homers, 3 RBIs, 11 hits. So, I mean, not great, to be honest. In his last 7 games, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, 4 hits, batting 154, 21 strikeouts on the year, just 6 walks. So not great. Obviously, and completely just lost his name. For the White Sox has been just absolutely crushing baseballs.
Murakami.
Yeah, I kept going Yamamoto, and I knew that wasn't right. Murakami has just been crushing baseballs in Southside Chicago. That would have been fun to watch at Busch Stadium, at Fenway Park as well. Would have been fun to watch at Busch Stadium if he played for the Red Sox this past weekend. But
how would you install bidets in Fenway Park, given that it's over 100 years old?
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
But
they'd have to figure it out.
Yeah, maybe next year. I mean, he has an opt-out, right? I mean, if he seems like a fun personality that the clubhouse desperately needs right now.
But he's got an opt-out after this year. Amai has an opt-out after this year. I don't think Akamoto does. I think he's a straight 3-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought that was very interesting that both Murakami and Amai both were given an opt-out after one season. But good for them. That's smart on them and their agents negotiating, and that could be dumb for the White Sox and the Astros, depending on how these seasons go. Obviously, the Red Sox lost. That came through about 10 minutes ago. Unfortunately, hopefully they'll bounce back in Game 2. I believe that's Mick. Did you know that it's not Abel? It's Mick Abel. I didn't know that.
What?
That is what I've heard multiple times today. So it's not Mick Abel. It's Mick Abel.
Whoa. Well, I feel like the Phillies just announced their players' names wrong. Like Ranger is pronounced Rainhair, right?
Yeah.
And they only both former Phillies players admitted that, hey, no, my name is said this way after they left the organization.
Yes.
Yeah. Coincidence? I think not.
There was, I don't know if you remember it, a few years ago, there was a lot of debate around Wilyer Abreu's pronunciation because he said it different ways, 3 different times. It was Wilyer, and then at one point he said it was Wilger with a J where the Y is, and then he said it a different way at one point, but I guess everybody has settled on Wilyer now. I'm sure that Wilger is how it's actually pronounced, natively in Venezuela. And Wilyer is the Americanized version of it, and so that's just what he's gone with to make it easier for most of his teammates.
Hey, there are a lot of Venezuelans in the clubhouse.
Yeah, that's true.
More than most teams.
That's very true. Yeah, Venezuela is well represented in the Red Sox organization. Yeah, so this hasn't been the most fun game to record on, but saw very positive things last week. Obviously, getting to Jacob Mizorowski, or however you say his name, was great. That's huge. He's one of the top tier pitchers in the major leagues. You let Dustin May kind of give you the middle finger as his payback for trading for him last season. And then, you went to work those last 2 games of the series. So hopefully you can go to work these last 2 games of the Twin Series. Are you working on anything for the website right now, Maddie, or for either site over on BP or here on Talk Sox?
Nothing at Talk Sox at the moment. I've been reading a lot about the Rockies, though, and I think I figure out the cure for the Coors Field hangover.
Interesting.
But I don't want to.
Is it Brennan Bernardino wearing the wrong jersey to the national anthem?
Yo, that was so funny.
I love that.
Yeah. Well, I miss him.
The purples are so much better than any other jersey they have anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
I
It,
love a purple Rockies jersey. It's so nice looking.
it's different, but I mean they're a different team.
Yeah,
And the mink purple coat too goes hard.
yeah, I
Yeah,
do like that a
it's
lot.
awesome.
Yeah, um, yeah, I'll look forward to reading that when it comes out. That'll be a really good read.
You have anything coming up soon?
Um, Weekend review every week. That went live here just a few minutes ago. Unfortunately, I was kind in part of my article about Trevor Story that is coming out within the next couple of days, talking about how his offense is maybe figuring itself out. But then I hammered his defense pretty hard in case you couldn't tell from the podcast earlier. So that'll be coming out sometime this week. Um, just as a spoiler, I think Trevor Story's a bum and doesn't need to play shortstop for the Boston Red Sox anymore. So there's a long form version of that coming out at some point this week. And I'm sure there'll be something else that I'll pick up. Brandon's always got a bunch of really good pitches. Um, and then, just kind of seeing what I see and writing about what I'm noticing. But, as always, stay tuned to Talk Sox. We've got even a couple new writers in the last couple weeks have been hired on. So they've got some stuff coming out, and, click away, and we'll catch you here on the Talk Sox podcast next week. Thanks for listening.